Okay, so in the last session, we just completed these setups: supplier and bank, and we discussed about roles and role we assigned, and we submitted a LDAP job for role synchronization. And today's session, we'll just see how to open the periods, and from there we'll continue with the payables related concepts. Just Armstrong, as you just mentioned, I just made a note of this point, how to just how to find the check format and how to modify from where to do all those. Just I just made a note. I'll be showing if possible today or tomorrow. I'll be showing in the session. Okay, for sure I'll be just doing if today or tomorrow. Yeah, thanks. Anyway, thanks for that good question. Okay, so we'll go and open the AP periods. Okay, let's go to the instance. So we assign the roles. Okay, in the yesterday's session we assign the roles and we submit a role synchronization process. Because of the role assignment, what happens is the payables related access you can see from navigator. Just click on the navigator and here you will be finding one section called as payables. This section with these different tasks added because of the roles which we assign to this user, Fusion US user. Now the first task is we have to open the periods. Okay, so just select the task called as invoices. It will take us to invoice workbench. It will take us to invoice workbench. See here you can see the title, invoice workbench. Fine. So this is the one. And other point, see here, we are trying to access to our business unit, but at the same time we are able to see invoices which are related to different business units. The reason is when we are creating our business unit, we selected the reference data set as a common set. However, we selected common set in the same way for which business units the same common set is selected. Okay, for which business units the same common set is selected, so all those BUs also will be able to access from here. That is a simple point. That means now we are grouped into common set. So what are the other BUs are grouped into common set. For those BUs access also we can see within the common set how many BUs are grouped. All the BUs will be able to access. But anyway, we have session how to just we have a concept how to create security profile so that we can make sure that we are accessing only our BU or selected BUs. But for now by default you can see all the BUs here, all the BUs information. Reason we are in the common set. Okay, we are in the common grouping. That is the reason you are able to see how to set all these infolets and all that. I'll be take you through later point of time. For now we'll proceed with the process. Okay, clear, right? Because of roles whatever we assigned in the yesterday session, we are able to access to payables functionality. Oracle completely given separate process to have access to the application for system configuration and to have access for transaction process. Separate roles they given. Configuration roles are different, and transaction based roles, access roles are totally different. Now just I selected task called as invoices. Now we are landing on the invoice workbench page. Okay, done. Now we'll see how to create the standard invoice. I'm sorry. Since we have a few guys who has to understand these basic things, I'm just going to give you the outline, the simple information, what is the purpose of that, how that invoice can be created. The simple points I'll take you through. I don't take too much of your time to explain, even if you guys know about it very well. So when we talk about standard invoice, it's very simple. So generally when you create invoice, a standard invoice in the system, it's very simple. Whatever the invoice, Sharath, did you get how to open the, okay. Yeah, no, we didn't do that. Okay. We'll do that. We'll do that. Okay. Okay. Then just as we planned, we'll complete and we'll proceed. Yes, Sharath, correct. Okay. Thanks for that point. We just targeted the task as opening periods, but I just missed out and I'm going on these points. Okay, fine. Let's open the periods. Okay, we take in the navigation. Now go to tasks. Here we have the task panel. Just click on this, it will open the task panel. And in this task list, you can say simply this is a task list. Within this, we have one task called as will be having one task called as manage accounting periods, the last one in the panel. Okay, manage accounting periods. Just click on this manage accounting periods. Okay, it's very simple. We have access to many business units. Each business unit will be associated with primary ledger. So system here, it is showing the access to open the periods for specific ledger which is associated with your business unit. We know very well, even in R12 or Fusion, okay, if you open the periods for one BU, automatically the periods will get open for other BUs if all the BUs are associated with the same ledger. Since here the core point, I mean key point is primary ledger, here the specification also Oracle is giving. If you talk about payables, if I go and open the periods for this Belgium primary ledger, with this Belgium primary ledger against this Belgium primary ledger, how many business units we have? For all the business units, the period will get open. Okay, so that is the logic here. So anyway, we have our primary ledger, that is nothing but Fusion USA primary ledger. When you just place the cursor here, okay, it is showing against this primary ledger. Okay, this primary ledger is mapped with how many business units? There as a pop-up you can see assigned business units, only one, Fusion US business unit. That means if I open, I'm in the payables, applications payables. If I go and open the periods for this primary ledger for payables, so with the payables, how many business units you have? For all the business units, periods will get open. Okay, just I'm going to click on this. Here you can see the period statuses also. The status here, it's indicate never open. Which period? The current period. November period is status is never open. Here prior period. October period also never open status. Next period, December period status also never open. Okay, these are the status we can see for our ledger, which is specific to our business unit related. Now just click on this ledger name. Okay, now system is asking the first period, open first period. See, yes, we created accounting calendar Jan to December, so select Jan 2016 as the first period. This is the first period in our accounting calendar. But when you look at our EBS case, the first period logic is applicable only for GL. When you are opening the periods for GL, then system will be asking what is the first period, then it will ask target period in case of R12. But when you work with 11i, you in the sequence you have to open the periods one by one. But Fusion, okay, and that's applicable in GL. But when I talk about subledger applications, we don't see first period, last period concept. Just will go and open what are the period we require. But here they given the case where we have to just go with this, since they are linking directly to open the periods with the primary ledger instead of going and selecting the business unit to open the periods. Just say okay. Say yes. Do you want to open this period as first period? Yes. Okay, the request will get submitted to okay the schedule process window, enterprise scheduling process. And to see the updates from here, you can just click on this refresh icon. Okay, here also we have a social network plugin. Basically this we call as Oracle Social Networking, OSN. Okay, that is our term we use, word OSN, Oracle Social Network. So just you are opening the period, say you are opening the period for current month. Okay, you are opening the current month period. So in that case, you want to communicate the same information to your team members or the guys who are working on payables application. In that case, simply just once you open the period, you can just share this information through uh, social network plugin. Okay, that's how the option is available here. So now you can see the Jan month is open, the period status is open. See here, place the cursor, you can see open, and next Feb status is future enterable. Now our target is we want to open the current period, that is November. So to open the current period, what you can do is, here we have actions function. Just click on actions. There you can see the task called as open target periods. Okay, open target periods. Or else your requirement is you don't want to go with the target period and all, just you want to open Feb. In that case, select Feb and click on open period. Okay, fine. Whenever you open the Feb, automatically system will be displaying March also as a future enterable, and you can open one by one also. Reason, in the primary ledger, specify ledger options, by default system will be taking future enterable period as a 1. That is the reason it automatically will be defaulting how many future enterable periods required from current open period. Okay, this is how you can open one by one. Generally we don't do in this way. Straight away you can just, first we'll open target period, from next period onwards you can go with this approach. Just we'll select and we'll be opening one by one. Initially when we are do the implementation and testing cases, we'll go with this approach. Right. So what is our target period? We opened the periods up to 2007. So we created periods up to 2017. So its system is showing the same, but our target period is November 2016. Just click on open. Say yes. Say okay. Just wait for a couple of seconds. It will get updated. So meantime, any questions, please? Okay, it's completed. Now you can see the November period status is open and December period status is future enterable. Okay, good. Then click on done. Now payables periods are open. Just click on done. Okay, payables periods are open. Fine. Now we'll talk about how to create the invoice. It's very simple. So any invoice, I'm not going to talk about standard invoice, debit or credit invoice. Any invoice, when you talk about invoice creation, basically when you look at invoice, it is structured, the total information structured, the three data separation, classification you can say. The information structure, when you look at invoice structure, you can find invoice header and invoice lines and invoice distribution. Okay, this is a structure of invoice. When you talk about invoice header level will be providing most of the information. Okay, the invoices belongs to which business unit and what type of invoice that is. The types and all will come across now. What type of invoice is that, and the invoices belongs to which supplier, what is supplier address, okay, and what is invoice number, invoice date, invoice amount, and the payment terms, and if required distribution set, okay, and what is the payment method, how we are going to process the payment to supplier. All this information we can mention as a part of header. And when you talk about lines, if you are going to create the lines through manual process, we'll be just providing the line amount, and otherwise if you are creating the invoice by cross checking with the PO or receipt, in that scenarios the system will be copying the lines from purchase orders. In case of invoice distribution, what are the invoice amount we have, that amount you have to distribute across the various accounts. The total header amount you can distribute into multiple lines. Maybe that invoice whatever it is should against 4 purchase orders. So 4 purchase orders, purchase order based information you can maintain the multiple lines, and for each line you can have a distribution. Finally, for entire invoice header amount, line amount, distribution amount should be equal. Okay, that is a condition. Header line distribution amount should be equal, otherwise you cannot process invoice. We'll just get into the system, we'll see that. And before we go and do that, what we'll do is we'll provide all the information, header information, line information, distribution information. After entering all this information, the process wise we have to validate the invoice. What validation will do is validation will cross check header line distribution amount is equal or not. If anything wrong with the, because there are many other points also to understand that will touch if required after creating the invoice. The primary key point is it will verify header amount, like all, say, total distribution amount should be equal to all the lines information should be equal to the header information. And we'll validate the invoice. After that we'll create the accounting for the invoice, create accounting, and if required we'll submit for approvals. And anyway, we are going to test approvals also, but not from very beginning. We'll create few invoices. After that I'll be showing how to set up the invoice approvals, so that every invoice should pass through the approval hierarchy or steps which you are going to set up. We'll create the accounting, then finally based on the due date we'll make the payment. Okay, it's a very simple process. We'll create invoice by following the structure, header, lines, and distribution. We'll just come to know how to do this. After creating the invoice, we'll validate. Once every system will identify everything is properly created in the system, okay, then we'll create accounting, where system will create the debit and credit lines based on the information what we provided, the accounts and what we given in the distribution. And finally, we'll make the payment by following the due date. This would be the process. If you want to make the payment for invoice, validation is mandatory. Accounting is not mandatory to make the payment. Okay, anyway, ultimately we need accounting for reporting purpose. If you create accounting for an invoice, then only that information can be interfaced to GL for reporting purpose. Okay, these are the simple points you have to understand. If you are following the approvals, yes, without approving the invoice you cannot make the payment. If you are not following the approvals, so very simple point is, if invoice is validated, you'll be able to make the payment. If there are no issues on that any issues with that invoice, like holds and other points, that all will come across. Okay, this is just very simple information. I cannot go beyond this. The reason is these sessions are not it's not like these are not for beginners. So the most of the people who are attending, they are all are expertised on this area. So I'm not taking too much of time to talk about more information related to this. But at least I want to give very some basic information. I can see many people who worked on SCM side and other areas, functional side. Now they are just moving to finance. For them, I want to give this brief information. And in this session, if somebody is there who are not getting these points and all, they can just give me a call after this class. I'll tell you the solution, how what action they have to take, and I have some solution for them that I'll be suggesting. So then that would be good learning for them. Okay, fine. So ultimately, my target also, just you will be getting good benefit out of these classes. Okay, so if you need some information on prior versions R12 where you want to brush up your knowledge, because when you are attending these classes, you have to make sure that you have a good knowledge on release 12, at least knowledge. Otherwise, if you have experience, that's really good. So that would be general expectation. But anyway, I'm trying to touch you at least basic points which you should understand directly from these sessions. So if you have some difficulty to understand these classes because you don't have background of R12 financials, please let me know, that you can contact me offline. I'll tell you the solution. Okay, fine. So this is simple information. Okay, we'll create invoice and we'll validate, we'll create accounting, we'll process the payment, and of course for payment also we'll perform the accounting. This is what we'll be doing. Okay, done. This I'll take here. Now we'll see how to create the standard invoice. When you talk about standard invoice, it's very simple. Whatever the invoice we get from the supplier, that invoice generally we record in the system as a standard invoice. The standard invoice you can create by cross-checking with the PO or receipt or inspection related information, or else standard invoice you can create straight away in the payables. Okay, if you are going to create invoice straight away in the payables, generally that invoice we call as standalone invoice. Okay, if you are creating the invoice directly in the payables without cross-checking with the normally system point of view call as matching, the cross-checking verification we call as matching in the system. If you are creating invoice in the payables without matching with the purchase order or receipt or inspection what you conduct, with the accepted quantity, that we call a standard invoice. First, I'll take you through the standalone invoice creation, how to create invoice directly in the payables. But in the real-time business, most of the invoices will be created by cross-checking with the PO or receipt or inspection related information. Generally, those we call as two-way, three-way, four-way matching. Okay, fine. So let's see how to create the stand invoice first directly in the payables. Later we'll see how to create the same stand invoice by matching with the PO once we are ready with the PO configuration and approvals. Okay, now we'll see how to create the stand invoice. To create the stand invoice, just click on this tasks icon. Here we have a task called as create invoice. Click on create invoice. Okay, click on create invoice. This is invoice creation page. Okay, so you can select you want to create invoice for which business unit. Now are we taken our business group definition into reference data set called as common set. That is the reason with the common set how many business units you have, all you will be able to access from here. Later we'll restrict for our understanding how to restrict, we'll do that. Otherwise if you don't want, one point is with the security profile you can restrict anyway, that will see detail level. Other point is if you want to have access to only your business unit, what you can do is when you are before you go and create the business unit and create your reference data set. Already we just created reference data set for payment terms purpose. The same way you go and create one reference data set and use that reference data set at the time of business unit definition instead of using the common set. If you do in that way and if you complete all the setups, if you come to this LOV, you'll be able to see only your business unit. I can hear some noise from someone. I request you all to just mute your mics. If you have some question, you can ask me. I can see here the one guy named 3 times. I'm just going to dismiss that case. 1 second, please. Okay, seems to many people are busy and they are not joining the session. Fine. Now just I'm selecting the business unit. Select your business unit. You want to create invoice for which business unit, that invoice against which supplier. Simply you can type here, system will fetch. Our supplier name is Fusion, right? Just type, it will fetch the value. So this is Fusion supplier, including the supplier number. Okay, and the organization type also corporation. Just select it. Since we have only one supplier site, system will be defaulting. System defaulted site, and this is associated with the which legal entity, this business unit. Okay, this is associated with the which one, that based on the definition it will be defaulting. And even in R12 also, when you go in the header level you can see, but that is not direct field. The legal entity is not direct field. Just you have to go to folder show field. From there if you search for the field called as legal entity, you can find it. Now here we have to enter the invoice number. I'm just giving the invoice number as Fusion 1 and select invoice amount. Here system is not defaulting the invoice amount. Okay, reason, supplier site level, if you set, okay, if you set the currency as a default currency, or say USD is the default currency, then system will be defaulting. But when we are creating the supplier site, we didn't select any currency as a default currency. That is the reason it's a blank, you have to select. But if you set as a default, it will be defaulting every time. Anyways, it will be on top of the list. So just select the currency as USD. Invoice we are going to create for how much amount? Say $25,000. Okay, $25,000. And payment terms system is taking here immediate. See, you can see only 2 payment terms because for this business unit, okay, we have some reference data object called as payables payment terms. That level we assigned our own reference data set where we assigned only these 2 payment terms to our reference data set. If you use the common set in this list, you can find n number of payment terms, but we limited access to this business unit for only these 2 payment terms by using the reference data set object definition for payment terms that already we have seen in the last session. Okay, because of that you are able to access this 2 only. This is the one which we created. This is the default one we assigned because general setups, that this is the one which will be defaulting. If you don't assign to your reference data set, your setups will get failed, few setups, since already you completed the setups and system already selected immediate. Okay, so that is the reason we just selected done. So this is all about invoice header. If you want to go with some attachments, where do you specify the level of, I'm sorry, I lost your question from Satya. Where do you specify the level of PO matching infusion. I'll tell you the logic when I'm going to show you in the system. I'll talk about that more. Frankly speaking, there's no option to do that. Direct option like what level you want to match with the PO or receipt or specifications how we have in EBS, but the logic can be implemented. I'll show you that when we are doing it. Okay, fine. So that's all about it, and if you want to give some attachments you can give. If you want to write some notes here by clicking on this, and it will open some space, you can write it. And apart from this information, if you want to select some additional information which other than what system is defaulting, for that you can go to show more. Here we have a show more option. Just click on the show more. It will just give you the more information other than what you see directly from the default screen. Okay. Yeah, I'll just come to that point. Fine. Here these are the information. Apart from that, there are some additional fields also you can see when you click on show more. Apart from that, you can see here the accounting related information, accounting date, liability distribution. Okay, this account is defaulting from where? Common options. If you have liability accounts code combination specification, the supplier side. Okay, supplier side, what system will do is system will be taking from supplier side. Since you don't have from supplier side, it will be taking from common options only. Okay, and here you can all the information like accounting and currency related, conversion related information in case of foreign currency transactions, document category, voucher number, other tax, party related tax configuration, and the address information, here tax related details. Okay, and other additional information. Okay, this is all the information you can find in the header level. If you go with the show less, this is what you can do it. See, it's invoice grouping in the sense you can write some name here. You can just write some name just for simple identification purpose. Okay, so there is no just big functionality behind that. Just it's kind of name, group name. It just will be giving the name. That's all. Fine. So this is all about invoice header. The header level only we are entering the most of the information. So will supplier tax registration number also defaulting from supplier side? Yeah, we have to do the relevant setups. Yes, then that will be defaulting. We'll do that when we are doing some tax related configuration. Okay, we'll just touch that points. Fine. So they will touch those, no issues. Okay, now we just given the header information. Now these are the lines. Here you can see the lines. Under lines you can enter the multiple lines, however you enter the lines in EBS. But in EBS case we'll be having separate tab. You have to just select the tab, then you will be able to perform all those information. Let me see, there is one big message from Anil. Lakshmi, you are one of the most knowledgeable. Come on, Anil. Yes, everybody, but thing is thanks for your message. Okay, but thing is many people knows good information, but they may not show willingness to share the knowledge because of the patience, their time constraints, or many reasons. But I really understand just what should be my responsibility when somebody is trusting and taking this kind of subscription from us. So that always I remember, that is the reason all the time I just focus on that. I'll be trying to deliver the best what I can. Anyway, thank you so much for your message, and this kind of messages can just can make me to think to go to a certain more extents also. I may just try to get a few more information for you guys. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks. Okay, I got feedback from Anil. I should say big thanks to him. It's a really nice feedback, which will encourage me to take it more just interesting way these sessions and all. Fine. Okay, so this is how just we have to provide the header information and line information. This is generally this lines information you can see in EBS also, but you have to just touch that tab. You have to click on tab, then only it will open. But here directly they given. If you notice, more or less you can feel it's like this framework is done more or less equal to spreadsheet environment. That's the look they brought, right? So so line information. So now this 25,000 amount belongs to, okay, what exactly? That information you can specify. and later point of time we can talk about this invoice and amount. 25,000 amount is belongs to multiple POs, how to manage and all that we can see. The 25,000 amount is belongs to multiple POs. You can give, I may give the PO number here. Since we didn't create, we cannot do that. That later we'll be doing. I can give the PO number 1. The PO number 1 may be for 15,000. I can go to next line. I can give the PO number 2. That means the 25,000 I'm specifying it belongs to how many POs. Okay. So somebody is asking, can we load lines from an Excel? Yeah, we can do that. Yes, we have that option also. Okay, and option in the sense it's not like you'll create a header invoice, header information, and you'll be loading the lines. It's not like that. There is a different approaches. One point is you can create invoice through manual process. Second point is you can create invoice specific invoices which is equal to web ADI function. The third option is you can load bulk volume of invoices. Everything we are going to touch in these classes. Okay, I'll take care of it. You'll get that information. Venkat, I'll take care of that. We'll see. Okay, is there a concept called as some? I think I got some other question from someone. Satya, is there any concept called as invoice batch? Yes, we have, Satya. See, just we started. See, hope you can understand. Just we started. We are talking about invoice. Whatever you have, you'll come across. If you don't find what you are thinking and what you're trying to get, you can ask me end of the session or middle of middle of the course. I mean to say not end of the session, end of the payables, I can say, or else middle of the payables concept. Just we started, you'll come to know many. Okay, so yes, invoice batch also we have. We'll come across everything. Just I'll take you through. Fine. Fine. So invoice lines. So for one invoice maybe belongs to 2-3 purchase orders also. When you write 3-4 purchase orders, you may get one invoice from supplier. That kind of situations you can handle with the lines. But anyway, Oracle made as lines as mandatory. The lines concept Oracle introduced from release 12. But in 11i we don't have any lines concept. Directly invoice structure is header and distribution. But in R12 they brought lines. The same concept you can see in the Fusion also. But anyway, just simply let's proceed with the lines creation. Okay, there is some challenge with the internet. I'm sorry, there was some network issue. Hope everyone can hear me now. Fine, we'll continue from here. Just I'll provide that just here details. The 25,000 amount, same amount I'll be giving, or else that amount I can distribute into multiple lines with the different purposes, where that amount is belongs to which expense or which POs. Accordingly, I can do that. But here anyway, just to simplify this invoice creation, I'm just going to enter same amount in the line level. And the line amount is belongs to which accounts we have to specify. For that we have two options. One is manually you can select enter the account. Say for example this 25,000 is belongs to only one account. I can enter that account code combination here. Okay, not here, 1 second. Yeah, okay, I can enter here that code combination, or else I can simply select the distribution set. I have some question from someone. So somebody is saying I don't see their name, how we call him, but I see with something Nokshan ACA. May I know your good name, please? But I request you to join with your just actual name. This could be some lookup or when you are using Lokesh. Yeah, Lokesh, already I shared all the videos. Please once again just check it in the same shared folder. If you don't see the last two class videos, please email me so that I'll be responding. What I'll do is once again I'll be sharing the same folder. There is no other solution because already the videos are in the folder only. Once again I'll be sharing. Still if you don't get it, we'll try to fix the issue. Okay, we'll do that. Please just once again you verify. If you find in that folder, shared folder, please let me know so that I'll do that. Okay. So this 25,000 is belongs to which account and all. If you want to specify, see here. So we can give the distribution set here. See, simple. They are given that here kind of actions. Once you click on specific, it will be bringing that field into right to this place. So if I just click on purchase orders, I no need to scroll. In case of EBS, you have to scroll in the line level. You have to scroll. What are the field you require that may be in the very end of that row. So but here you can simplify. If you want to enter any project, this invoice is related to project related information, means project accounting related information. Then simply you can click on project, then the project related information right in the right whatever the view we got there, it will be rightly placed. And if you want to provide, if an invoice is related to asset related invoice information, click on this. Asset related fields will just get displayed directly here next to these three fields. And if it is something landed cost related, you can provide, and if it is purchase order, and if it's tax related, if it is references or it's a description, just you can select that relevant information related link, and it will display right away in the. Okay, that's how it works. Just for understanding, I'm talking about these simple points. And you can provide the distribution set for this. Sorry. So we create a distribution set called as expense. So this amount will be distributed across the accounts. What are the accounts we have in this distribution set? If you want to see what is the distribution for this, simply you select the line and click on distributions. So only one account we have, the same account will be part of distributions. Or else if this 25,000 is belongs to multiple accounts, you can do that. Or else here we have a add icon, add row icon. That amount you may distribute across the multiple accounts. Now we given 25,000 is belongs to expense only, or else manually you can create the distribution. So however you want, you can do that. Now anyway we are using the distribution set. Okay. So this is how just simply we create the invoice. We given the header information, we given the line information. Okay. In the line, if you want to take the distribution set, you can take it. Otherwise, directly click on this distribution. There, enter the 25,000 or partial amount at select relevant account. The same way, make sure that the distribution amount is equal to lines, one or multiple lines, how many you enter, all the line information equal to invoice header. In the current case, everything is equal. Now you can see the status of invoices. The right side, it will open the panel. So status is, validation status is not validated, and approval not required, because we didn't do any configuration for approvals. That will be doing later. Otherwise, for every invoice that require approval, it will consume some time to do the approval process. So again, that is waste of time when we are discussing many invoice types. That is the reason I'm not touching now. After understanding most of the invoice types, I'll show you how to configure the approvals for invoice, how it works, how the notifications goes to the respective person whom you are targeting to approve. Everything will be discussing. Accounting status is unaccounted, status paid status is unpaid, and cancel, it's never cancel this invoice. And other thing is holds. When you talk about holds, these are the different holds can be placed on the invoice with various reasons. Installment related hold, you may place on hold on specific installment which is there in the invoice, where it depends on payment terms. So through one payment term you can have multiple installments that you can place. And line variance, if there is some variance with the line information with a and within the line, if you have some variance, system will be placing the whole distribution variance. Okay, with the distribution and line, if there is some variance because of distribution, you got some issue because header and the line information fine, but in the distribution amount is less than this, then that you can call as distribution variance. And the manual holds means as intentionally you can go and place the hold. Say just your manager pass the message saying that don't make the payment to the supplier, even payment term is immediate. We have some legal issue with that supplier. If you get that message, you manually you can go and place the hold. That concept also we have. That concept also included in the course content that will be covering. And system holds. Simple point. When we are trying to validate the invoice, if a header amount is not equal to lines and line amount is not equal to distribution. Simple point, header line distribution amount is not equal, automatically system will place the hold. That hold only we call as system hold. And supplier side hold. For specific supplier, if you don't want to make the payments and if you want to place all that supplier related invoices on a hold, the invoice are belongs to each site. The site level you can go and set, you can enable supplier site hold. Once you go and enable at supplier site level hold, for with that supplier site, whatever the invoices you are trying to create, system will allow you, but it won't allow you to process for the payment since you enable the supplier hold at the supplier level. Okay, then all the invoices get placed on hold until unless you go and release them. Okay, we have one question from Satya. This is a good feature in Fusion. Give a snapshot of holds. Come on, just we'll be practicing, right? At the time you can take snapshot. I will be getting direct instance access. Okay. Okay, I'm not just presenting something from some other document. I'm just directly accessing system. So fine. Okay. So see, no snapshot I have to share with you. You have all rights to access this. Anyway, you'll be practicing. So that for that reason, no snapshot is required, I think. And other point here is payments. Okay, it's a what is the due date for this invoice? Since you taken the payment terms immediate, okay, system is taking the due date as this. So immediate means just they're given 0, but always payment terms will be calculated based on the term date. Immediate means 0. If I give the term date as a 15, sorry, it's 11 only December. If I give the term date as a 26th, okay, so just it need to be updated that this date also will be changed to 26th only. Reason, whatever the payment term you mentioned, the payment term related from that payment term system, based on the payment term, system will calculate the due date by following the term date. Okay, so this is the point we have to understand. Whatever the term date we have, if I say payment terms 10 days, the 10 days should be calculated from which date? That will be depends on what is the term date we are giving. Okay, today is 24th. If I say term date as payment terms 10 days, it has to be say 4th of next month. But if I give term date as next month first, from first next month first 10 days it will calculate, and that it will be taking as due date. That's how it works. The payment terms logic due date calculation works based on the term date. Okay, we know like when business, the companies will take term date as invoice receipt date or goods receipt date or many other conditional base they'll be taking. Accordingly they'll be creating the payment terms, or else invoice printed date from the supplier. So many points will be there. These are the key points when you are touching this invoice creation. It can be any type of invoice. Mostly this is a very kind of, we have to treat as good information to understand about invoice and all. Any screenshots, any attachments from the client related to this invoice that you can attach here, you can write the notes. And here we have many invoice actions, and we will go through that. Okay, anyway, finally we created invoice header information, line information. Instead of entering the distribution through manual process, we use the distribution set. The distribution set will allocate the specific line amount automatically across the accounts. Okay, done. So if you have any tax information within this invoice, the tax related information details will be displayed here. Okay, so tax related information will get displayed here. Since there is no tax applicability, you don't find anything within this. Okay, transaction taxes, withholding taxes, here everything you can see, all you can find from here. Okay, this is all about invoice screen to understand more detail level. Fine. So after once you create the invoice, think like this is a very big invoice. You receive big invoice, I mean it's a big transaction which you did where the amount in lakhs or crores. You want to communicate this information to someone without writing some email or calling or messaging something else. Just you want to share with one click. So you can go with just a social networking plugin, or Oracle social networking OSN. Future you can, if it is already integrated and inbuilt, like the function is enabled. So once you click on that, it will get shared automatically with respect to targeted people. So that's how you can share this invoice information also with your team. Okay, that's all. This is all about invoice creation. Once you create invoice, first what we have to do, once you provide all the information, what we have to do? No calculation tax button. Yes, Satya, just will come to know that. I just just take the points. I'm just talking about invoice. When you are calculating the tax, you can ask me these points. Just okay. I can understand your questions. Please support whatever I'm requesting. So I told you, right, when you talk about tax and all, whatever the functions by default you can see that anyway I'm touching. So yes, you are saying there is no tax calculation button and all. We'll discuss all those points. Okay, fine. But logic will be there. The name they can change, calculate instead of calculate. They may say apply something else. Okay, we'll see those points. Okay, we created invoice by providing the header and the line and the distribution information. Okay, now what we have to is, after entering the invoice information, okay, you have to click on validate. go to invoice actions. Okay, even EBS also will be finding the tab invoice actions window will be having, but here in the top they given drop down option. Sorry, you just click on invoice actions drop down option, then click on validate. Since it is a standalone invoice, just it will verify header line distribution amount is equal or not primarily. So now you can see status is validated. If invoice status is validated, you can make the payment. If this invoice is ready for payment based on the due date, you can make the payment. To make the payment for invoice, accounting is not mandatory. Just notice this point if you are not aware of. Okay, without validation you cannot make the payment, but after validation without accounting you can make the payment for invoice. But if you have some approvals, after approving only you will be making the payment. That is a check. Okay, done. We validated invoice. Next what we'll do is we'll create the accounting. So here you can see validation is validated, and we'll go and create the accounting. Anyway, we didn't set approval, so it's showing not required. Let's go and create the accounting. Post to ledger. When you talk about create accounting, I should compare with EBS. In EBS, when you are performing the accounting, we have three options, right? In EBS, we have I think here I have a note. Let me take some other simple point. In EBS, okay, especially R12, I'm not talking about 11A in this case. This is not applicable for 11A. When we are creating accounting for any invoice or payment in R12, we have three modes. One is draft, right? Sorry. Draft mode. Second one is final mode. Third one is final post. Okay, so if I'm going to create accounting by selecting draft mode, what system will do? It will create accounting, but that is a draft accounting just for preview purpose. If you create real accounting, how it would reflect, how it will get generated, if you want to know in the draft mode, you can run the draft mode. In that case, it's not valid. We'll create accounting, that information will get stored in the XLA tables, okay, respective tables, but the status would be draft mode. Okay, that is just for sample, you can say. Before you go with the actual accounting, you will be running draft. If you say final mode, what system will do? It will create accounting entry for invoice or payment in the payables, but that information will be there in the payables only. Just it will create real accounting. But when you talk about final post, in R12, what final post will do? It will create real accounting entries in payables, and it will transfer the same accounting entries to general ledger in the form of journal, and it will post that journal information automatically. This will perform three activities. It will create accounting, it will transfer to GL, it will be posting in the general ledger. That's how this final post works. When you talk about final, it will just create accounting entries that it won't transfer to GL also. In draft, it is sample accounting. But when you talk about the EB Fusion, how it is managed, it's simple. Here we have only two options: post to ledger and account in draft. Two options only we have. So this draft is equal to this draft. When you talk about here final, the final what it will do, it will create accounting entries. But in Fusion they removed that final. The reason, what is the reason Oracle removed final from Fusion? In EBS also you'll create the final. After creating the final, ultimately you have to transfer to GL. If you are not going to transfer to GL, there is no meaning if you are creating the accounting and if you are going to keep the same information in the payables. So if they give the option final, few users can do with the final, and again they have to do the second action transferring that relevant data to GL. So for that reason, Oracle completely removed final option in the Fusion applications. They given mode called as post to ledger. Post to ledger is equal to final post. If you just select post to ledger, it will create accounting entries, it will transfer to general ledger, and it will post in the GL. That's how it is relevant. And in EBS we have these three modes, but Fusion we have two modes only. Draft you can see as a draft only, but the final post which you see in the EBS, Fusion you can see as a post to ledger. Post to ledger means create accounting entries, transfer to general ledger, and post. So that is the meaning of it. Okay, let's go and select this option. Any draft to sample accounting only. If you click whatever we are going to see real, the same you can see as sample, but not required for us. Okay, just simply click on post to ledger. It will create accounting and it will transfer to general ledger. Okay, and it will be posting the same within the general ledger in the form of journal information. So accounting is completed and posted to ledger. Posting to ledger process in progress. Okay, let it be in progress. And now you can view the accounting. Created accounting, but is on the way to GL in terms of transfer. Just click on create accounting. See here, system what it is doing, it is creating accounting entries. Okay, item expense, the classification within the system for expense, debit items, the classification would be item expense, since it's not tax and something else, right? So actual account is here. You can see the account here. Just place the cursor, you can see what are the account you taken. Expense, where we given that expense account through distribution set. That means whatever you enter in the invoice distribution, that account will be debited. And other account, see here, liability account. Here, what are the liability account we given in the common options that account system is taking. If you have a supplier site level, it will be taken from supplier site. So distribution account is debiting and liability account is crediting. A liability account is getting credited. Liability account system can take from common options or supplier side. If you have a supplier side, it will be taken from supplier side, or else it will be taken from common options. We know, like, we should aware of from where it is taking the accounting entries. From where it is deriving these code combinations, we should understand. And if you want to go with some T account and all, yes, the T accounting representation also is possible and all. So this is the representation. So this is just simply you can just create the accounting for the invoice, and just if you want to make the payment, yes, you can make the payment for this invoice. Okay, we're done with this accounting, validation and accounting. Now we'll go and make the payment. Anyway, due date is immediate, and the date is today, so due date is today date only. But see here, I just specified term date as a 26th. Okay, that is the reason system is taking the due date as 26th. But in the system there is no control. See, the due date is 26th, but if you want to make the payment today, you can make the payment because you have funds. You want to have a good rapport with your suppliers. You have to want to maintain good relation with the supplier, or else the reason could be like you may get discount. Sometimes if discount applicable as per terms, you may get discount. The different reasons you may process the payment before due date also. Okay, so what, anyway, like, because of due dates there is no control in the system. Anytime you can make the payment. It can be before due date, or exactly on the due date, or after due date. Anytime you can make the payment. If it is before due date, you may get discount. After due date means definitely you may get some financial charges. So bank, they'll be charging the interest suppliers. On due date means just you can go ahead with the same amount. Fine, we created, validated and accounted. Now we'll make the payment for this invoice. Let's see how to process the payments directly from the invoice workbench. Think this invoice screen, we are in the invoice workbench. Okay, all invoice can be created in the invoice workbench. We are just standing on invoice workbench. Now let's go and make the payment for this invoice. Go to invoice actions, select pay in full. Okay, because if I want to make the full payment for this invoice, this option we can use. Okay, if I want to make the partial payments, that should be done from payment workbench only. That we'll be discussing. Select expense. I request somebody, Surender. Surender, can you just mute your mic? Thank you. Thanks. Okay, sorry. So just click on, go to invoice actions, select pay in full. See here, the bank account is getting defaulted. How it is getting defaulted? For this business unit, only this bank account is assigned. After creating the bank account, we assign to this business unit. That is the reason it's getting assigned. And the payment method check system is selecting from invoice. Okay, where you can see the payment term, payment method. That's very important point generally. So the payment method you can see from here. Go here, and here we have one option called as manage installments. Here the payment term will get default what we selected for our supplier site. Go to manage installments. Here you can see the payment method. Okay, here you can see this is the one schedule we have, one time payment. So 26th we have to pay to for 25,000 by following the payment method called a check. If you want to change now, you can change it. Just click on this LOV drop down. These are the different payment methods which are exist in our system. For supplier, you plan to make the payment. Now you may change your plan. You want to process through electronically. Anytime you can override. No objection. Okay. So now just we want to make the payment for this invoice, pay in full. Yeah, Satya, correct. Installment is equal to scheduled payments as per EBS, right? There in EBS we are calling as schedules, but here the real term they are using as installments. Fine. System is defaulting the bank account, which account is associated with this business unit. If you have multiple accounts, you can select from the drop down, but here option is only one we have for our BU. Okay. So here you select your payment process profile. Our payment process profile name is Fusion Payment Process Profile. Select it. Selected. Now select payment documents. We created payment documents as a Fusion check. Select it. Now system will start using the documents, nothing but checks. The payment document number is 1. Now just simply you can say submit. Just click on submit. The system will record the payment for this invoice as we paid today. Say okay. Now see the invoice status. Status is changed to paid. And here you can see that information, no more due date information, already paid. So payment amount is 25,000. So this is how just through manual process will create invoice and will be processing the payment. Anyway, in the further classes we'll see how to create invoice automatically and how to make the payment automatically. These concepts also will be covering more detail level. Okay, so this is all about just invoice creation and payment. Just I'm marking the same here as we done with the invoice creation. And PO based invoice creation, I'll take the status as pending. The reason we have to complete purchasing configuration also, since we plan for purchasing also as a part of our course content. I'll take you through that purchasing configuration later instead of stopping and now payables and moving to purchasing. Once we complete the payables functionality, once we complete everything, we'll go to purchasing, we'll do the configuration, we'll create the PO, then we'll pass the invoice by matching with the PO. That we'll be discussing. Okay. Now we'll focus on this point. Okay, invoice creation via spreadsheet. This is a very simple point. In EBS, we have a concept called as Web ADA, right? Web ADA. Web means web. There is no meaning for that. Again, we have to discuss. ADA stands for Application Desktop Integrator. Application Desktop Integrator. Application, yes, application means our Oracle applications. Desktop means yes, our system desktop. And integrator means which will connect these two, which will connect this our desktop and a related object, desktop related to some object and application. Between these two we can have one spreadsheet related environment. Okay, we say simple point that is a spreadsheet only. We can have some spreadsheet which we can place on our desktop and which is connected with application, but you can pass the information in the spreadsheet that can be imported into system. That logic or process or concept only we are calling as Web ADA. We can have some spreadsheet now on our system, and if you enter some information within that, can you load into the system? May not be possible. But the spreadsheet logic is from the Oracle. Yes, definitely they can make the logic of connecting that spreadsheet to the system, our application, payables or any application. Whatever the data we have within that they can load into the system through open interfaces or some API logic. So in EBS, we see the term called as Web ADA. The same Web ADA concept you can see in the Fusion as ADFDA. This is what we call. Okay, no more Web ADA. Concept is logic is Web ADA only, but we don't call it as Web ADA. In Fusion, we call as ADFDA. ADFDA stands for Application Desktop Framework Data Integrator, which is equal to Web ADA. Through Web ADA, what we can do, we can put some data in the spreadsheet environment that you can load into the system, that to very specific data. In the same way, now ADFDA also will do the same job. But when you compare with EBS, in EBS, yes, we have Web ADA, but the Web ADA function is very limited. When you talk about Web ADA for financials in EBS, the Web ADA you can use in GL only for journals, right? The Web ADA you can use only for assets and fixed assets. The Web ADA you cannot use in other applications, receivables and payables and other applications you cannot use Web ADA. But the same Web ADA concept now we have in the Fusion ADFDI, Application Desktop Framework. DI stands for a Data Integrator. This now we have for everything, not only for this. In GL we have for journals, and AP we have for invoices, and AR we have for receipts, and FA we have for assets. Okay, this is all like they enhanced the usage of ADFDI in Fusion. Okay, now what are the function we know in EBS as a Web ADI? The same function we can use in Fusion for invoices also. But you cannot create any invoice through spreadsheet in EBS. But now EBS means, especially I'm always pointing R12. Okay, may not be all points when I'm comparing, may not touch with 11i, since there is a difference between 11 and R12 also. Okay, may not connect directly. Okay, fine. Let's talk about R12 reference. If somewhere something is required, I can touch that 11i version also. Okay, because see, there may be somebody in the session like who is attending who know only 11i, since a few big clients are still going with 11i only. Fine. Anyway, I don't disturb others. I'll go with a very simple point. Fine, this is what we can do. Now anyway, we can proceed with the invoice creation with the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet only, it's nothing but I written as spreadsheet. Generally, I should write as the invoice creation via ADFDA. But simple understanding a written spreadsheet, always when you see spreadsheet concept, that you can just understand that is nothing but ADFDA. Now we are going to create invoice through ADFDA. Let's go and do it. So if you want to create an invoice through ADFDI, okay, what you have to do is you have to install that plugin. Already when we were trying to do that configuration for legislative data group related, I already installed that one. I'm going to uninstall. Let this process get synchronized with what we have to install and what we have to do. It's a simple task. I'm going to uninstall, so please ignore this step. Now we'll talk about, if you want to create the invoice through spreadsheet, what we have to do, we'll be discussing now. Okay, our requirement is we want to create the invoice through spreadsheet. Now let's go to the let's see the process. As a process, what we have to do is, if you are going to create invoice through spreadsheet, I'll give you the step by step what we do. So see, these are all concepts. If all these concepts, whatever you can see, those I copied from our course content only. Whatever I provided through PDF format, from that I copied and pasted. If you find something is missing, please let me know. No chance, but let me know if you find something. Okay, invoice creation through via spreadsheet. If you want to create invoice through spreadsheet, what we have to do is, first we have to download ADFDI executable file, or application desktop integrator. The name will be like application desktop integrator, file integrator. This we have to ADFDI executable file we have to download. After that we have to enable Excel options, the macros and all we have to enable. Then what we'll do is we'll create invoices in spreadsheet, then we'll import invoices into AP. So this is just 4 steps process. This 2 comes under setups, which we do one time. This comes under process. Let's go and do it. First we have to install that ADFDA. So anyway, we're done with this. Now if you want to create one more invoice, generally you have to click on save and create next. Create another. Earlier version they given as create another, now they change the term to next. Okay, it's already saved, in the sense you are not saving, already saved and all, but just to exit from this screen. Meantime you may do some changes, that also they are considering and all. If you simply can click on save, or else save and close, so that this form will be closed. If you want to create another invoice, better you can click on this, or else you can say simply cancel. It is equal to close the window. Wherever you see cancel, now we don't have any something like close separately. Here we have save and close. Apart from that, cancel work as a close. Okay, I'm just closing. Any browser required setups required for ADFDI? No browser, no, nothing. So simple to answer your question from Lokesh. Yeah, Lokesh, from next time please give your name as some pop-up name so that it will be easy for me to communicate with you. Okay, now for today I can understand since just now you passed your name. Okay. See, when you talk about browser requirements, steps required for ADFDI, simple point here we have to understand the logic. When we are dealing with the ADFDI is not going to be connected through some these web pages. Okay, when you talk about ADFDI, that directly will they written the logic and all, directly the data will get connected, get stored in the database. We are not going to perform anything through the Oracle Fusion application pages. Just spreadsheet, which the spreadsheet will get connected with the respective database tables. Once you enter the data and load it, it will be loaded into tables only. From front end you can query and you can see. That's how it works. There is no task which will pass through some pages, web pages. That is the reason you don't need to worry about the some prerequisites or something else not required. Any question? Somebody unmuted.
No, actually, in R12, I face the problem.
Sorry.
When I enable the in R12, when I'm doing the web ID process for general GL uploads,
Okay.
that time I face the problem with web browsers.
What kind of problem?
Suppose if I'm creating the web ID spreadsheet, that time it will not allow to create. There I need to do some setups in website.
Okay,
Like
I I got your point. Maybe that is just you will be downloading, right? You will be downloading. So even if you download directly, it will be just the pop-up will come and you have to open that. But here it's not. See, that means that process is. You can mute yourself, please. Mute your mic, please. After asking anyone, after asking question, please mute your mic so that I'll start speaking about it. Otherwise, I'll be speaking one way, other way. If there is some background noise, we'll be getting into this session. So that's the reason all the time my request is after asking the question, please mute your mic. Again, if you have some question, you can ask. No issues. Okay, it's a simple point. So in EBS, what happens is you got some issue means, yeah, I can tell you the reason. In EBS, when you are creating that spreadsheet and all, you are not going to install any executable file into your machine. Whatever the process you are doing, that everything will happen on the fly. The connection will be get established through browser only. Okay, the connection, just the initial connection will get established, the pop-up getting and all everything you will be seeing through some browser connectivity would be there. That could be the reason why you got. But when you talk about Fusion case, you are not going to do just on the fly. You are not going to do it. First you are going to install that so that the tight integration will get established between that spreadsheet which you installed through executable file, and whatever the data you enter directly, it will be syncing with the application. There is no browser connectivity here. We have to consider generally in EBS also, but since you got some issue, you are saying that just that there could be some that way of reason and all what we have to understand. Okay, generally there won't be, you don't need to worry about the browser when you are working with the Fusion. Even when you can open this application from your mobile, your iPhone or Samsung, anything. You can hit this URL, in your iPhone. You can start working from your iPhone. That's it. I used to access from my iPhone. Okay, done. So any questions? So that's it. You don't need to worry about browser compatibilities and all. There won't be any issue with the browser. Let's see now how to proceed. So we plan here to just create invoice through spreadsheet. First we have to go and download ADFDA. From where we have to download? Go to navigator, go to tools. Under tools, already it's a repeated task we are doing already, we did earlier for that. Anyway, ignore it. So here we have one link called as download ADF desktop integrator. See here, ADF DA, I said DA stands for desktop integrator. Just click on this. And one more point I want to tell you here. So you might have some experience of doing the same in some different instance. The version could be different. If that is a trial already you taken, before you try for this, please go and uninstall those files which you are downloaded and which are installed in your machine. If you say for example you got release 10 instance access in past, and at the time you tried with this all these something only downloading this desktop integrator related file, and you installed, now you have access to release 11. And if you are trying to connect to release 11, if you are trying to install this, it won't happen. The older version of files need to be uninstalled, removed, then only this properly can be installed and it will be working. And sometimes when you are dealing with this, we will be getting some issues. You will be installing, say, think this is a very you have a very fresh system where you didn't install any plugins related to this. Okay, and you are installed first time, when you are trying with this process, it may not work. In that case, the simple solution is uninstall and do again installation, it will work. Okay, this is our experience, so the same I'm sharing with you. Generally it happens in many cases, many people know this kind of practices. So just, I'm just opening this, and I'll just double click this, and I'll be installing the same into my machine. Set up executable file, just click on that and run in your machine, so it will get installed. Say install. If the same file is already existed with the older versions, in this stage you will get error. This is the stage where system will throw error message. Sometimes it can give the message already existed, or else sometimes it won't speak anything, simply it will give error. You have to understand already this similar files are existed from older versions. Okay, say okay, it's successfully installed in our machine. Now what is the next task? You have to enable the Excel options. The macro setting, we have to make sure that that is properly set. I don't touch this, I'll open one more Excel sheet. Already we done, but to understand the process, I'm taking you through this. All the client open invoices we can, who's speaking? Yeah, Lokesh is asking, all the client open invoices we can create using the this option. I hope no. We have separate option, I'll talk about it. This is just for ongoing. I have a user, I don't want to give the access to that user to create invoices. His job is just user invoice creation only. I don't want to allow them to just to do the validation and accounting. Nothing. Just draft mode. You will be entering the invoices. For that user, I don't want to give instance access also. I'll just give this ADFDA. The day-to-day business transaction related, day-to-day transaction related invoices can be created within this. That's all. Not to load open invoices. To load open invoices, we have other concept which can be handled through spreadsheet only. We'll be discussing more detail. That also we have as a part of our course content. Okay, fine. Just go to this Excel options and go to Trust Center and click on Trust Center settings and go to macro settings and make sure that these two checkboxes are enabled. This checkbox and this radio option and this checkbox. And primarily these you have to make sure that rest, okay, not an issue. Everything will work fine. And this also in the macro settings the same. Yes, we discussed the same. Done. Okay, then just say okay. See, when you go to add-ins, here you can find whatever you installed very recently, that you can find on top, or at least somewhere. After that you might have installed something else. Here from here also you can verify whether the installation is getting notified by system, it's considering or not. You can see, after that you can go to trust centers and you can do these settings. Then the system will be ready to connect with our application. When you connect with that spreadsheet function from our application, the plugin will get established. It will invite that plugin to connect with the application. Done. So we're done with these two setups. I'm just closing this, not required for us. Now we have to create invoices in spreadsheet. Let's see how to create invoices, from where to create. So we are in the invoice workbench. Click on tasks. Okay, here we have a task called as create invoice in spreadsheet. Okay. So when you talk about payables, R12 or 11i payables, you can create individual invoices, or else you can create invoices through batch, which we call as batch invoices, right? Oh, it's taking time. 1 second. Let me hit once again. Yeah. No issues. Oh, fine. The reason is before installing that, already this spreadsheet is already open in our system. Okay, after installing, just close all the spreadsheets. Okay, after installing the and doing the setups, close all the spreadsheets which are open, because this is already open status. Okay, that's the reason it's not able to understand. System is not able to understand. One way it is not, it's offline mode. The open spreadsheet is there. The other one, it's not able to connect. Now you try to do that. It should connect now. See, now it is asking, do you want to connect? ADFDI remote serverlet. Servlet means serverlet, this connectivity. Say yes. Do you want to connect to the server for this ADFD related spreadsheet function which is related to payables? Say yes. Now you have to log in. The same approach, same process we follow even in EBS also. So her username is Fusion US. Just I'm entering password. Say sign in. Now this, it will, the client and server version do not match using the version, or maybe results or unexpected behavior error and all. It should not come. It should sync. I don't know why it is coming. Okay, if it is connecting. So it's connecting. Just by mistake, it given that error message. That's what we have to understand. Okay. So this is how it will open. Now somebody is asking. Okay, somebody is asking, do you have a batch process and all? Yes, batch process. This is a batch process. You can create a number of invoices within this. Okay, you can create a number of invoices within this spreadsheet. Okay, you can enter, you can copy the same information, you can modify however you want to process. So this you can compare with the batch invoicing process also, because in the same you can create a number of, but when you compare with the EBS batch process, there will be having some specifications, number of invoices which you want to enter and the controls and all, but unfortunately here that options they didn't give. Okay, you can you cannot set that controls, but you can enter a number of invoices within that one. With one click you can import all the invoices. Seems to somebody unmuted.
Lakshman Ankit.
Yeah, okay, please.
Okay, Lakshman, like in release 12, when we are creating invoices manually, okay, there is an option where we can enable the batch. So first of all, we'll give the batch name, and under that we create multiple invoices. So in Fusion, that manual creation of batch is possible.
We have batch group, right? When we are creating the invoice, we have seen one field called a batch group. That field you can use for that kind of naming convention. Okay, that's how you will be able to identify. Okay, fine. Okay, now we'll see how to create the invoice. Yeah, please.
Lakshman, this is Malik here. I want to know, when you're doing this kind of invoice entries,
Okay.
does it supplier number has to match with the actual supplier created in payables?
Yes. Now, see, simple. Now this spreadsheet is open. Just don't think just this is spreadsheet. This is tightly connected with our application. Now all the values will be fetching from our application only. Let's see that now. It's connected. It's connected with Oracle database now. Okay, we'll see now. And other point, can we control the amount with a batch with a fusion and all? That's what I said. No, like here we don't have that option. Somebody is asking that question. Okay, now let's do it. Invoice header identification, it can be anyway the default sequence Oracle is providing. You don't need to touch that. So how many invoices you want to enter, accordingly this you can increase and all here. Okay, here you can add the new lines also. You can place the cursor and add new row. It will be added automatically. That's how you can increase this numbering also. Now you want to create invoice for which business unit. Just you have to select here, double click. oh, sorry, a few fields you can double click, a few you can go with the drop down value. So click, it will come. Fusion US business unit. These are all values from our database. Import set is not mandatory. Invoice number. Already I given invoice number as Fusion 1. Now I am going to give Fusion 2 here. Invoice currency. So say we are going to enter invoice currency in USD. USD is invoice currency. Invoice amount, I'll say just 5,000. Invoice date. Here in our system, we'll follow the format called as month, date, and year. So for that reason, here same you can follow. Month is November 11th, date is 24th, and year is 2016. But if you format as the 2 characters, it will take by default like this. You have to change the format to make compatible date format with our system when we are loading. Otherwise, if this is not the format, it can get failed. So select that field and go with the format cell. You know this, all these things, but still I have to show because this is a process here. Select this format, month, date, and year. This is the format we need. It got changed. Now you can select your supplier. This invoice you want to create against which supplier. Double click in this field, it will open the supplier selection page. Search for your supplier. Supplier name is Fusion. Okay, search for the Fusion. Say OK. System will take the supplier and supplier number. Now you have to select the supplier site. Double click. Okay, here we given the supplier site also Fusion site 1, I guess. Just searching with the Fusion. Yes, Fusion site 1. So if you give the same name, this is the advantage. You don't need to remember all the time with the same term. You can proceed with any searches or value selections. Fine. And select here invoice type, which invoice type you want to create, and you can write some description if you want to write. And it's a line type is item. I want to enter what are the amount I enter in header level 5,000. And if you want to match with the purchase order, you can select the purchase order information here. So that system, and you can select purchase order, and you can select the lines from here for matching purpose. While system is creating, it will perform the matching. And here you can select the distribution set. Just double click. Distribution set which we created is expense. Search for it, select the same, say OK. Okay, and if you want to enter the manual distribution, for that we have a separate field, but directly it is not displaying. If you want to see that field, place cursor here and right click and say show hidden fields, where it's not coming by. Sorry. Okay. Unhide. Click on this, it will display. But in my system, if I click on this, it is the Excel sheet is getting hanged. So I don't want to take that risk now. If you want to enter the distribution set, you can click on unhide. The fields which are hidden, those will be unhidden. So you can see that additional field called as distributions also. Okay, then you can enter the manual distribution code combination. That's how you can manage. In the same way, you can enter a number of invoices by going one by one rows. And once you're done with that, simply you can say save and submit. So this information will get imported to payables. So system is asking for that information, like on failure, if some line is getting failed, do you want to continue to upload subsequent rows? Yes. Anyway, we have only one. For sure that will be imported without any error, because it's a very simple information which you entered. Now you can see here confirmation row inserted. It will insert the row, and again it will insert the row directly into this base tables. Okay. And it's not mandatory. These are the optional parameters which we get here. Simply you can submit, or else if you want to go with very specific, okay, you can submit this. The point wise, to understand it, it will directly as a action. Finally, we can see the data in our base tables only, but process wise, just it will be directly from spreadsheet. It will be loading the data in the payables open invoice interface. Now, why we are submitting this? What are the data we have in the payables open invoice interface? The data we have to import into payables application. For that reason, we are submitting. Now, in the payables open invoice interface, we have data only related to our business unit only. That is the reason directly you can say submit. All the business unit data will get imported into our base tables from interface tables, or else you can select specific if you are in the environment where the data belongs to multiple BUs, and if you have a requirement of loading specific BU data. Okay, I'm selecting RBU, and source system is selecting as a spreadsheet. Yes, we have to accept, and invoice group you have to specify. Okay, so that you can identify this all invoice falls into one group. One batch you may name for all these as one batch. I can say I'll enter 20 invoice. I'll be giving as a group number 1, that I may treat as batch number 1 for all the okay, that's how you can specify all the information, then simply say submit. But all are optional parameters. Okay, now it will give the confirmation to us saying that how many are imported. Okay, invoice import request details so and so. Say just okay.
Lakshman, Lokesh here. Hello.
Yep. Yeah, Lokesh, please.
Actually, here we have the distribution set, right?
Yep.
Instead of that, I want to enter the directly distribution account without unhide mode. Can I do that? Like suppose
No.
I want
See,
to
that's
make a
what
user
simple.
friendly.
Simple. The same I am telling. See, by default it won't display. You have to unhide. Then the field will open like this. It will open field like by default they are hiding that field. That's what I am trying to say. By default in this spreadsheet the field will be hidden. If you want to open that field, go and do that. And again, yes, as you said, like you don't want to get as a default, but for that we don't have any control. That's how they just did the programming. Okay, fine, done. Now just I'm closing this. We can go to payables. We can see the same invoice in here. So what I'll do is I'll go to recent invoices. In the recent invoices, in the last 24 hours, if any invoice is created, that will be displayed here. Only one. Just now we created, that is the one. Just refresh, otherwise just refresh, it might be showing this. Yes, now it's got updated. Okay, so this is the Fusion 1 we created directly in the system, and this is the one which we loaded through spreadsheet, 5,000, right? Not valid, unaccount, not paid. And here you can see the source also. Source is we created through spreadsheet. Okay, now what we can do is you can open the invoice and you can do, or else select this invoice, and here only we have validate options. Okay, select this invoice, select, then click on validate, or else if you click on invoice number, this will be open in the invoice workbench invoice creation page. From there you can go to invoice actions and you can do that. That too they simplified. Just you can select from here and say validate. Okay, it's got validated. Okay, you can see the status. Now if you want to create accounting and post to ledgers, from here only you can perform that. Done. Okay, so this is how just you can perform. If you want to make the payment for this invoice, simply just open that invoice. There are some questions somebody is posting. I'll just come to that. Let me talk about it. Then just validated and accounted unpaid. If you want to make the payment, you know the process. Okay, you can just go with the painful option and you can pay. So simple task, let's complete. Anyway, we have few invoices for further testing certain concept. That's the reason multiple payments also required in the system. Also, I'll go with the Fusion payment process profile and select payment document as a Fusion check. In this bank account, only one payment document we have that we are selecting. The system will default the next check number. System is going to consume check number 2. Submit. Say OK and click on save and close. Done. So we have 2 invoices. Now you can see other recent invoices too, because the second one also got updated. Earlier it was showing only one because that was not got updated. So total 2 we have. These are the 2 recent invoices which we created. And this information also we'll talk about. These we can set as per our requirement. Okay, these are all infolets and all you can. I'll talk about that. It's a separate concept. In fact, I didn't include in the course content also, but I'll cover that simple concept, which is very important. Okay, we'll do that. That's all about invoice creation through spreadsheet. Let me go through these questions, which I can see in the chat window. Control amount that we discussed. Sharath. Lakshman, multiple lines for single invoice. Do we need to enter line number and repeat the same header and phone? Yeah, that same we have to do that. You have to repeat and you have to give same invoice number. It's all about copy paste. You can do just you will be changing the just line number and line amount. That's all. Nothing else more than that. And
Lakshman, this is Munindra.
yeah, please.
Lakshman, in R2L and all, when you're downloading the template, WebID template, and we can do that layout kind of stuff and all. Here, there is no such kind of concept in Fusion.
No. That option we don't have. Okay. By default, we don't have anything for that. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. And the other question is from Maruti. Can we modify? It's the same we are discussing. That we don't have any just control some additional privileges we require for that. So Maruti, I learned that ADF via Java. Is it possible? ADF via Java, is it possible? See, that kind of customizations are not allowed. Okay, just you have to go with this logic how they built and based on that it's ADF framework based this you can do that. Okay, but how what you learned what you are saying I don't know. Like I learned that ADF it's possible via Java and all. This also built on Java base only, but the way what you learned and I am not sure about it, so I cannot answer to your question. But this is how we have in Fusion that I can share with you. But how you built and in the same way whether this can be built or not, I am not sure. Okay, that's all. Fine. We have one more question from Satya. Is there a shortcut to copy the previous? Just copy and paste. That's it. Copy and paste. The Excel functions will work within that, and your keyboard functions also will work same as. No separate key shortcut keys we have to use. Okay, same. Some standard shortcuts or standard Excel functions will work with that. Fine, that's all about. And just give me 1 second. I have to open our class spreadsheet. 1 second. Okay, fine, done. So this is what we discussed and completed just now. So I'm going to mark the same as we completed. Sorry, not here. Done. Okay, now we'll see the debit memo invoice creation. How to create the debit memo. We have a question from Madhu. If we need to add a few custom logics like holds, etc., is it possible in Fusion? Custom logics like hold and all we can set it up, and some if you want to write some custom logic, it depends which environment, which subscription you taken from Oracle. In case of SaaS, generally customizations are not allowed, means some custom logics and all you cannot write, and you cannot develop the custom forms. But the simple personalization, so you can do it. The very basic personalizations which doesn't disturb the behavior of the standard application functionality related features, you are allowed. Some simple logics you can write, which comes under personalization. If you want to write some custom logic which will just change the behavior or some process which you are doing, those are not allowed. Those you can do in case of PaaS model. In case of SaaS, software as a service, you cannot do that. In case of PaaS, platform as a service, you are allowed. Okay, right. So yep, thanks. Okay, that's all about this invoice creation. I have one more question from Venkat. Can you share any link for Fusion documents for white papers and Metalink and all? Yeah, I'll try. I never tried searching in the Metalink and all. So I'll try for you. If I find, I'll be sharing. Otherwise, I have some other document also. I'll be sharing for sure the document which will talks about Fusion features, and you can use for good reference. But so okay, that I'll be sharing, that you can use for reference. But primarily these sessions may be very important for us to understand very proper way. Find that. I'll do that. Whatever just you're looking on this Fusion related stuff, and especially on financials, you just let me know. If I can help you on that, for sure I'll be ready. I don't hide anything to share. Okay, if I have, definitely I'll be sharing. So now we'll talk about debit memo invoice creation. The business point of view, so we know, like, say I have an invoice with the $10,000. Okay, against that invoice, whatever I purchased, I create invoice, and the invoice amount is 10,000. But I return the goods, I return the material, which is worth of $2,000. In that case, the invoice amount is 10,000. That means our liability is 10,000 because of because of purchase returns. Say simple example. That is the purpose we use the debit memo. When you do the purchase returns, with how much amount, with the what quantity and what is the price, accordingly amount can be identified. With how much amount you did the purchase returns, with the respective amount, you have to reduce that amount from the standard invoice which you create. That means to reduce the supplier liability from our invoice, we can use this debit memo. Okay, so the debit memo can be created automatically in the system based on the procurement process. But here we are not going to cover complete procurement. Generally what happens is, whenever you do the purchase returns and all, we can do that activity. If time permits, if I get good time to do that setups and all, I'll show you. At least I will show you that basic purchasing configuration, PO creation, approvals, and invoice creation. And if time permits, I may show you how to create receipt and how to do the purchase returns related stuff also. But that's more like too much configuration is there for that. Receipt accounting and all these we have to configure. If time permits, just I'll do that also. But I'm not promising on that. As I promised, I'll be covering basic purchasing. Okay, in that case, you can see how to create the debit memo automatically based on the purchase returns that we'll discuss. But anyway, for now, we'll see how to create the debit memo through manual process. Okay, we'll see how to create the debit memo through manual process. To understand this debit memo creation, just what I'm going to do is, here I'll take the simple example. I'll do it. So what I'll do is, so to understand this debit memo, first, for testing purpose, what we'll do is we'll create one standard invoice. Create standard invoice, say with $10,000. Now say like this is when you see the standard invoice, the meaning is we are liable to the supplier. Okay, so for which invoice we not yet paid, simply that invoice you can call as open invoice, or you can say open amount or open balances, which are referring that invoice related amounts. Say you have an open invoice. Open invoice is nothing but outstanding invoice. You have open invoice for 10,000. Say you purchased 10 quantity of material. Each quantity unit price is 1,000. That is the reason invoice amount is 1,000. Say you returned 3 quantity. You return 3 quantity means now you have to show in your books your liability is only 7,000. how to show? First we have to reduce the 3000 from this invoice. To reduce that 3000 from the stand invoice, we'll create the debit memo. Create debit memo with 3000. When you say stand invoice always will create with a positive sign. Okay, and credit debit memo we have to create with the negative sign. Reason is it's a reverse case. To reduce the amounts, to reduce the supplier liability you are creating, you have to create as minus 3000. Okay, fine, you have to reduce. Now what we have to do is, when you are making the payment, when you are going to do the payment, you have to select first this standard invoice. If you select this standard invoice, if you are going to make the payment, system will accept 10,000 payment, but that's literally wrong, right? So that is the reason what we have to, when you are making the payment for the standard invoice, generally if you are doing the manual process, you should remember to select debit memo also. Okay, here not select, create, say select standard invoice as well as select debit memo. Then finally system will be taking the payment as only 7,000. If you forget to select this debit memo along with the standard invoice, your payment will be 10,000. Okay, again that will be issue and you have to contact the supplier, wrong payment, and again many actions, many things will come into the picture since you did one mistake. Okay, that is the reason this is how this process we have to follow. But for this we don't need to worry about it. We have automation also. Against any debit, any invoice, standard invoice, if any debit memo is there, system will be selecting automatically. That process also will be discussing, but we'll see. However, we Oracle given as a function how to perform this through manual process. This is what we are going to test now. First we'll create one standard invoice 10,000. We'll treat we have to pay to the supplier 10,000. Then say we just now we have to pay only 7,000. Reason we just do the some purchase returns which is worth of 3,000. So now we have to reduce that amount from the standard invoice. For that we'll create debit memo to reduce. Standard invoice always will create with a positive sign. Debit memo will create with a negative sign. And when we are making the payment, we'll select the standard invoice. Along with that, you should select debit memo. Otherwise, the amount cannot be reduced even you create a debit memo against this invoice. Okay, then we'll finally be making the payment for 7,000. This is what we are going to test now. Let's go and create standard invoice first. I can see time is almost we reached. Fine, it may be some issue for the guys who has to leave to office or in India, especially. Okay, maybe this will continue in tomorrow's session. Okay, we'll do this testing in tomorrow's session. To perform this, no prerequisites are required. The basic configuration should be there in the payables. To do this, we don't need to do any setups. But when you talk about spreadsheet and all, these two are prerequisite setups. You have to complete this, then only you can do this process. To test the debit memo, these direct transactions. Okay, any questions? I just think like we're done with the session for today. So just if you want to leave, you can leave from the session, and who has some questions, they can just stay back in the session to ask the questions. And Satya is asking the different type of invoices you have in R12, are they same in Fusion? No, we don't have all. We'll see that. I'll show you. We'll go through it. See, Satya, please, I can understand your intention. We are going to see the same. We are on the same page. We have to wait for some time. Then you'll see. Okay, we'll see that. You'll come to know. Just okay, fine. Surinder, can you send the course content to me? Oh, you not yet received course content. I think you are today. You are joining the session. I'll be sharing, Surinder. After this session, I'll be sharing. And Ankit, Fusion release 11 available in the market from when? Okay, when means I can say it's more or less from last, not more than 1 year. Say like you can say 1 year. It's around 11 months or 1 year. You can say 1 year, not more than 1 year past. Yep. Any other questions? Now just I'm here just to answer your questions. I'm not going to talk about any subject related as we scheduled. Okay, we're done with the class. If you have any questions to ask, or if you want to just attend the questions and answers, you can stay back. Any questions? Anyway, this session also I'm recording. You'll be getting. I share with you. offline also you can attend this. Any questions from anyone? So we have one question from Satya. Does Oracle release the futures for version? I didn't get you, Satya. Does Oracle release the futures for version means what does it mean? You mean like for each version Oracle will come up with the new features, or what exactly you are trying to ask?
So Lakshman, my intention is so whenever the Oracle releases any version, right, like 11, right?
Yeah, yes.
So does Oracle also releases the advantages and features that are released as part of that version?
This is simple. Like how it works in R12, the same way it works. We know very well. We know very well why Oracle will come with a new version. There are several reasons. I'll give you simple points since here you have a question. So Oracle always comes with a new version because there could be some bug fixing, because they might have some experience where clients are getting some issues in certain area. They may just come up with the issue, they may do some solution, bug fixing, the development they'll do for the so that kind of sort of issues to stabilize that kind of area. For bug fixing related, they may fix many bugs, and that could be one reason why they'll be coming not only with just one. And they may come up, when they come with new version, you may see some new announcements which comes with the same version, and you can see some new features within the application, and again you may see altogether new applications also, and you may see some new technology adoption into that respective solution. But these all points whatever I discussed may not related to specific area, that may not be related to only finance or only HCM. In one release Oracle may focus on HCM, another release Oracle may focus majorly on finance, another release it may focus on procurement. But in every release there will be at least something which is there as some announcement, or kind of additional features or some changes, something you can see. These could be reasons. There is no guarantee for Oracle is coming with the next release. We cannot guarantee on that. Oracle definitely will come up with some additional features for our financials. The next release, the major target may be for HCM or something else, but you may see few related to finance. But generally Oracle, when they are coming with a new release, they'll make sure that they're coming up with some additional benefits with respective offerings what they are offering. So this is the point we have to understand when you talk about Oracle releases. Okay. When you say like there is a new version from Oracle, but for our finance there may not be single change. Please, I can hear a lot of noise from someone. Okay, there may not be single change for finance. That can be, you may see, but generally it won't happen. But the possibility we have. That's how the releases works. Any other question?
Lakshman Tanman this side.
Yeah, Tanmay.
Normally, when we are configuring the this Oracle Cloud
Okay.
based on the client requirement, we are chalking out the process map which is standard Oracle is providing,
Yes.
and based on the whatever the client requirement is there.
Yeah.
So, for example, I'm just taking an example over here. You just showed us to how to create the standard invoice, and for example, I did the configuration.
Yeah.
And so before handing over to the client, so so do I need to because all the possible combinations of the creation of invoice then hand over to the client, or what is your view on that one?
Yes.
Because there is
Tanmay,
a number of combination of
Tanmay, yes, I got your point, but I'll take your question offline. You can call me after this discussion. I'll explain you, because this is just very kind of, frankly speaking, little bit basic, and where since you didn't have experience and implementation, you are asking this question. So let's go with the very more relevant to the session. So that anyway, I'm ready to answer, but call me after this class. Once I wind up the session, you can take just 10 minutes break. Then you can call me. I'll talk about it. Yep.
Okay.
Fine. Any other question? Oh, I can just, I'm checking this chat window. Every time the look and feel UI changes. No. The release prior versions, the look and feel is different, and anytime you can change the look and feel. For that, we have options. You can change. Ajay Das is saying the look and feel got changed. It's nothing here. When you see the earlier and now, just the background color got changed. Okay, the background color got changed. Even in EBS also we have profile option Java color scheme. Through that you can set the look and feel of the color of application. Rest of everything remains same here. Just color got changed. Other than that, nothing. But compared to previous versions, yes, the look and feel got changed more than color. That is also there. Okay, in just a couple of months, maybe just the news in the market is maybe December Oracle is going to release 12, not our EBS release 12, Fusion release 12. There again, the look and feel may get changed, but don't think the functionality will get changed. That will remain same. Okay, there may be one or two they may add, which are missing in this now, which are there in R12 and which are not there in this version also. That kind of things they may come up in the latest version. There are few features which we have in R12, but we don't have in Fusion in the latest version also. Very few. We'll talk on that also. No issues. Any other questions? I'm checking chart window. Fusion release 11 available in the market from when I answered all this. Any question?
Lakshman,
Yeah.
this is Venkat.
Venkat, please.
Lakshman, can we pass the payments also through spreadsheet?
Sorry? Payments
Can
through
we pass
spreadsheet?
the payment?
No, Venkat. That is not possible here. They didn't give that function. Only invoices.
Oh.
Yeah. Any other question?
Lakshman, this is Malik here. Actually, I've sent you 2 emails regarding the attachment and the review form. So just have a look and let me know.
Yeah, sure, for sure. Thank you so much. I'll do that. Thank you. Any questions? I'll be available for 5 more minutes in the same meeting. Okay, within 5 minutes, if you get some question, you can ask me, or else after 5 minutes, I'll just leave from this meeting. I'll be end this meeting. I'll be available for 5 more minutes, even if you are not going to ask any question. Sorry.
Lakshman, this is Madhu.
Yeah, Madhu.
Like, is it right time to discuss about you said in between if we move from another technical or supply chain? Is it right time to discuss about that one, or we can discuss offline?
Yeah, we can discuss since nobody is asking questions.
Yeah, I am supply chain, so I want to know what are the concepts, so that I can learn.
Okay. You are talking about your background. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So you worked as a SCM consultant. Now you want to jump into finance side, right?
Yes.
Oh, then this discussion we can take offline. We can have a call after this. I'll tell you how you can explore more on this based on this training, and what are the other ways where you can become very rich in finance in terms of knowledge. We'll discuss on
Okay,
that.
Lakshman.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll call you after that.
Fine, Madhu. Fine. Any other questions? Just I'm checking any question I missed out in chat window. Please share any link for Fusion.
Lakshman, I would be
Yeah.
calling you after 10 minutes, okay? I'm just leaving the meeting. Yeah. Thank you. 10 minutes, sir.
Yeah, you can call me at 9:30. 9:30 you can call me.
Okay.
Yeah, because I may
No
be here
problem.
for 5 more minutes. So
Yeah, that's okay. 9:30 I will be calling. Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, bye. Okay, fine. Just I'm going to wind up the session. Thank you. Good night and have a good day. See you tomorrow.